The worst wildfire in Texas history.
Now the top emergency officials in Bastrop County are talking about what went right and what went wrong. You'll remember last September, 2 people lost their lives in that fire. 1,673 homes were destroyed. More than 34,000 acres burned.
KXAN's David Scott live in Bastrop to explain why that fire may have been more than anyone could have handled. David?
Robert and Leslie, as you go around Bastrop, you still see the rubble. The cleanup goes on 7 months now and counting. State leaders on fire control and on the Texas Forest Service, the National Guard, and emergency management telling a House Committee on Agriculture today here that what we witnessed last fall was the perfect storm, coming on the heels of a 12-month drought, the worst 12 consecutive month drought in Texas history. And then all it took was a spark, fanned by winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour. The wildfire was a force of nature with a mind of its own. It moved at the whim of the wind. 1,000 firefighters came from across Texas and across the country. The Texas National Guard dumped 1.4 million gallons of water, but the fire was so intense most of that evaporated on the way down. There's an old Texas expression: sometimes there's a horse that can't be rode.
But when you look at the warning systems that were employed, the number of people that were touched and asked or ordered to evacuate, and the resources that came in from all over the nation, timing, it doesn't always matter whenever it comes to an overwhelming fire force against whatever you have.
The House Agriculture Committee heard how miles of dirt road were plowed as firewalls, but even Highway 71 and the Colorado River couldn't stop it. Too dry, too windy, too much brush on the ground to fuel the flames.
There's not enough resources in Texas, firefighters, to prevent something like this from happening. It was the perfect storm, historic drought, the spark in the right place, high winds on the right day. So there's, this was a force of nature.
Speaking of resources, Major General John Nichols, head of the Texas National Guard, is angry. The federal government wants to take away our state's fleet of 8 C-130 heavy transport planes. Planes that remove the injured, bring the troops, and also load up on medicine and food. That would leave all the Gulf Coast states without heavy transport for fires or hurricanes.
They have put the defense of America outside of America ahead of the defense of America inside of America. And they're trying to meet a budget. And they just forgot that we need these C-130s.
Tough words from the general. Now, if you decide you want to live in a pretty wooded area, the officials say you've got to take precautions because you are on nature's turf. Clear the brush surrounding your home. Clean out the eaves of your house, anything that may be flammable. And you may want to consider a controlled burn. If you can get someone to do that, who knows what they're doing. As for last fall, all those precautions might not have made much difference. In Bastrop, David Scott, KXAN News.